Hello my fellow Ibinskis! Today is a return to formula for this channel, because today's video is about multiple Lucky Star theories, and how I think/feel about them. So without any further ado, does Kagami have a crush on Konata? Let's check it out. We see multiple times that Kagami gets flustered and blushes at many of Konata's antics, and she is genuinely moved when Konata comes over when she's sick. She even has a goofy little grin on her face. It's very indicative of love. That's not all. She even says in the OVA this iconic line, and before you comment, no, it's not a mistranslation. And before you quote at me Konata's line about being a heterosexual in the visual novel, I must remind you that I did not say jack squat about Konata's feelings so far, but also, in-game, Konata refers to Kagami as being head over heels for her, and add that to the fact she is kissing Kagami on the cover art, which is a reference to how Konata kisses Kagami as part of a bet in the game. But Konata's heterosexual line is her acting like kissing Kagami was just a friendly gesture. Effectively, she used that line as a cover, not the objective truth. Basically, think of it like this: no homo, I'm wearing socks. So this doesn't really reveal anything about how Konata feels though. To top it off, the character archetype that Kagami is the tsundere, which is someone cold, harsh, who doesn't admit their feelings toward another, but still harbors said feelings, very intensely. So, time to bring out a new gimmick, a gizmo if you will, for this channel. I call it the ACT Probability Scale. It ranks theory ideas from S all the way down to F. I give this theory a ranking of A+. While this theory isn't bluntly confirmed, which would give it an S ranking, it is true by looking at the evidence. Now on to our next one. The next one up is Konata's mother, Kanata, watching over her throughout the anime? Now immediately, this one seems more difficult, because we only see Kanata appear in episode 22, but there are multiple indications that she hasn't been watching over Konata much, or at least not from the perspective she has in that episode. For starters, she opens the ghost scene up by saying she hasn't been here in a while. Then, as she watches Konata and Sojiro take a photo together, she comments to herself that he hasn't changed at all. She also takes note of how they play games together, and she finds that nice, until she finds out there's an H scene in the game. She's immediately surprised by the fact that Sojiro lets Konata play those games. All the things Kanata says throughout her stay in episode 22 imply that she doesn't have the luxury of being able to come and go as she pleases. And by that logic, she hasn't been watching over Konata. But wait, what if I told you there's a reason why she came at the time she did, and possibly some other times off camera? You see, throughout many cultures, having some sort of connection that ties you to the physical world as a ghost means you have easier access to it. This makes even more sense when we consider the two largest religions in Japan, Buddhism and Shintoism, also have very similar ideas in it. In Buddhism, if you have connections and desires linked to the world, you are destined to stay in that world, as in reincarnation, which I'm aware isn't what's happening right here, but let me cook. In Shintoism, there are a plethora of things that tie spirits to the material world. Most commonly, these things are found at shrines. These two things both convey this theme of connection that keeps spirits attached to the physical world. It's given that religion influences philosophy, and philosophy influences culture and media. Now that all of that is out of the way, I think Kanata mostly comes and goes when Sojiro and Konata are thinking about her a lot. Almost like thinking about her is almost sort of calling her name from the other side. The stronger the emotions are, the stronger the connections she has to the mortal realm. She may be able to see them, like, from a distance when she isn't currently present, based on how she said she'll keep watching over them, but she's rarely, if ever, down with them. At most of the time, she's just watching from very far away and doesn't get much details from it. Following this logic, it's safe to assume she's likely appeared a few times before this one scene, but only for brief moments and still rarely. So, what do I rank the theory of Kanata watching over Konata for all of Lucky Star? I'd say it falls best in B tier. It has some good evidence backing it up, but it still needs extra clarification and definitions, and it still remains semi-unclear. Our third theory for today is what I like to call the storytelling theory. This theory is that every episode of Lucky Star is just a story about the main cast, but told by a different person. Let me explain. According to this theory, what happened in each episode may or may not have happened exactly how we see it, but it's an account of someone who is either one of the main cast or someone who knows the main cast. For example, episode 12 would have been Kagami's account of that one time that she, Konata, and Tsukasa went to Comiket together. Some details may not be entirely accurate, but the big picture is there. Episode 6 could have possibly been the account of Miss Kuroi, and by that logic, due to her role in the episode and how Konata's antics seem to be dialed up in this episode, Miss Kuroi sees Konata as fun and a bit of a troublemaker, leading her to remember her antics most vividly. Now, it's time to rank this theory, and I rank it D+. Yeah, it's possible, but I just don't see the connection being strong enough to warrant this being seen as true. It just doesn't have enough backing, enough oomph. What's this? A secret theory? The theory that the Lucky Channel cast is not actually from the Lucky Star world, but has found an opening somehow through a wormhole portal thing, and decided to capitalize on the Lucky Star shenaniganery that happens in the Lucky Star world, effectively infiltrating the Lucky Star world? You may ask, why did you say Lucky Star so many times? You may also ask, why would anybody do that? And to that I say that their studio needed more content, so they found a way to travel between universes. They infiltrate the Lucky Star world and effectively become a person in the Lucky Star world, to secretly document what the characters are doing and broadcast it via the Lucky Channel. That would explain the awkwardness of how Minoru's on Lucky Channel, talking about the main cast like they're just characters, but then later interacting with them and getting treated like a regular student. None of the main cast is aware that the Lucky Channel is using them to make money, because Lucky Star is not broadcasted in their world. Otherwise, Konata would have likely seen it. Akira fits easily into the pop idol culture, so she doesn't really need to go as undercover as Minoru, who chooses to attend the same high school as the Lucky Star characters to gather footage. The reason Lucky Star ended where it did was for two reasons, by this logic. The girls graduated, and also that the Lucky Channel likely lost access to the Lucky Star world, so they had to end Lucky Star where they did. Now to rank this theory, of which I made it entirely on my own. I give it a ranking of question mark, because it makes sense, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't like fourth wall breaks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it and returning to a wackier, more fun stuff. So please, like, subscribe, hit the bell, have a wonderful day, and stay groovy.